Oh, that's hot. You like my mug? This is part of my merch. Oh, and the tea is from Leslie, who designed the one of my viral dance video, which here's the design that she did. And she sent me this tea all the way from England. It's really tasty. Guess what the name of this one is? Witch's Brew, bitch.
This video is rated petty as fuck.
Ready? Let's fucking go, bitch.
Jen motherfucking Dent, president. Jen motherfucking Dent, president. Jen motherfucking Dent, president. Jen motherfucking Dent, president.
Hello, Poppets. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. First, I wanted to mention this awesome hoodie that I'm wearing. It is from Into the AM, and they sent me this for free just to talk about them. And so I would like everyone to go check out their website. They do some really awesome clothing designs, all that stuff. This is super comfy. Usually when people say they're gonna send me some merch for free, I'm a little leery and I'm like, okay, we'll send it, and I never know what to expect. This is super comfortable, and I ordered a 2X because I don't like anything tight, and this is super big. So I would say that their sizes are true to size. You know how you try to order t-shirts and stuff and you never really know what to order, even if you try to get your measurements right? This I could have gotten along with an XL or probably a large. If you use my coupon code, which is right here, Poppets, then you can get a 10% discount, and anything you order, I get 10%. So, check them out. Also, here's all my social media. Feel free to follow me on any of those platforms. Let me take a breath. So today, this video is a follow-up to the video series that my friend Sarah Sparkles did on her page, and it was called The Truth. It was parts 1 through 7, and it was the truth about what happened with my divorce. I will link everything below because you need to watch my first video. It's titled, I Was Silenced for 6 Months. After you watch that, then you can go and watch Sarah's video series on my divorce. In a nutshell, I was slapped with a restraining order, which is hilarious because I never threatened to hurt anyone physically. All I ever threatened to do was to tell the truth. These people were so afraid of me telling the truth that they chose to take something simple that I said about a ring. It pissed them off so badly that they went searching and basically found something that they could, it was like a whole paragraph, but they left a part of a sentence off and took it to a magistrate, and I got a restraining order. As if everything else you did to me was not upsetting enough, for you to have done that was just the icing on the cake, and pretty much in my mind makes you the two shittiest people that really have ever entered my life at any point in my life, and that includes the person who raped me. You take the top #1 spot of the shittiest people I've ever had to encounter in my entire life. You let yourself get upset by the fact that, and I'm gonna tell the story of the I'm sorry ring. Also, the I'm sorry ring is a little tight on this finger because I gained a little bit of weight through the past 3 years because of all of the shit that was going down. So I'm gonna put it back on this hand. 1, because it pisses you off. 2, because I'm married to my fucking self. I didn't ask for this ring. I was given this ring because I was treated very badly during a time that I was doing something good for a friend. And when Brian and I separated, to be fair, since I was keeping the house, which, let's be honest, I kept the house because his fucking ass can't afford this house. I can't. So there's that. Then also, I took on his credit card bills as a way to be like fair. Since I'm keeping the house, you go ahead, go do what you're gonna do. I'll pay off your credit card bills. Part of the credit card bills was this I'm sorry ring. What happened was, this ring right here is pretty much identical to the ring that Brian gave the girl that he cheated on me with and ended up marrying. She got so mad because Sarah pointed that out on Facebook, and then I just took it and ran with it. I mean, they're pretty much identical. You can look, think for yourself. That made her very angry. Also, I really like this ring. I went and pawned all of the jewelry that Brian gave me while we were married, and the only thing I kept was this because it's beautiful and because I paid it off. Now, I'm getting a little steamed telling this story already, so I'm gonna go take this hoodie off and I'll be right back. This is really just me spilling a little bit of tea about my feelings about this whole situation. I know that you both like to say that I am obsessed with you. I know that Brian especially likes to say that I'm obsessed and that I didn't want him to be happy and all of that stuff, and none of that's true. I wanted him to be very happy. I wanted him to go and find someone that would treat him like the prince that he feels that he deserves to be treated as. There's so much I've learned in the past few years of not being with him. Was I perfect? No, I was not. And I'll do a video one day about some of the things I did that I know were wrong and I'm sure made him very unhappy. But Brian is a serial cheater. I know for a fact that he cheated on his ex-wife before me multiple times. He cheated on her with me. He then cheated on me multiple times with multiple people, and then he turned around and married a girl that he messed around with behind my back, and then she definitely was having an affair because the day I confronted them both, they denied it, but they were together. And I know that because his daughter told me. I'm sorry, daughter, that I threw you under the bus, but really I realized that I was being manipulated by you. So I loved you a lot and I cared about you a lot, but you are no longer part of my life. I don't know how that sounds. I don't really even care how that sounds, because the only time you would come around or want to contact me was either to tattle on him or to probably do his dirty work by asking me to take things down, and I'm just not doing it. Am I obsessed with you, Brian? No, I am not. But you two put a restraining order on me for 6 months. So basically what you did was anesthetize me for 6 months. You just basically made me into a hibernating bear for 6 months. You gave me lots of time to think about what it was that you had actually done to me, the things you had said to me. It gave me a lot of time to plan with Sarah as to how we were going to confront this situation once I was able to not be silent anymore. You gave us lots of time to plan, and they say that the best revenge is served cold, and I don't really even see her videos as revenge. I just see it as my truth was going to come out. So if you want to say I'm obsessed with you, that's perfectly fine with me, because I know I'm not. I know that pretty much for the last 5 years that we were married, I didn't want to be married anymore. I've said this in multiple videos. I would fantasize about what it would be like to not be married to you. I felt like I walked on eggshells. I felt like I lived in a prison. Yes, you were very nice to me in many ways, but you were very controlling. Anything that made me happy in life, you hated it. Anything that made me smile or anything that made me feel good pissed you off. And you admitted that to me many times, and I would ask you, why do you do these things? And you would say, I don't know. You didn't have an answer, but you would flat out tell me, yes, it pisses me off when I see you having a good time. Let me get into how I got this ring. I got this ring because I went to Los Angeles with my friend Jessie. On Vine, she was Jessie Smiles. She was dating a guy named Curtis Lepore. Long story short, I'll list a link below. You can go read the whole story. It was in Rolling Stone. They broke up and he ended up sexually assaulting her. She ended up pressing charges. She had to go to court, and I flew to Los Angeles to go to court with her. Brian understood that. Brian knew what was going on. Brian basically gave me the, yes, it's okay, you go into LA, you be with your friend. And he acted like a total jackass the entire time I was in Los Angeles. It was so bad that even my friend Panda sent me a text and he was like, is Brian okay? Because his Facebook, he's making it look on Facebook like either y'all are getting a divorce or you died. Like, that was how bad it was. I don't know if any of you have ever dated someone or been married to someone that you make plans. You say, I'm going to go this place with my friends. I'm going to have fun, or I'm going to do whatever it is that I need to be doing. And they're like, fine, that's okay. It's good with me if you go. And then the whole time you're there, they're just blowing your phone up and just being fucking annoying and obnoxious. And that's the only way I know how to describe it. Brian, if you didn't want me to go to LA, then you should have told me. You know, I probably would have gone anyway because Jessie needed somebody to be with her. I know her mom was with her, but at that point it had been such a shitty mess. I had become so involved that I was like, I am going to court with her. Just an example, on the morning of court, I was in a hotel room with Jessie, Jessie's mom, and my friend Justin Smith, because he was going to court with us. So there was 4 of us in a hotel room. I don't know if any of you have ever tried to get ready for an event in a hotel room with 4 people, but it is not easy to do. We were going to court. We had to be there at like 9 something in the morning. So all of us are trying to get showers. We've got people sitting on the bed getting ready. We've got people sitting on the floor in front of mirrors getting ready. And Brian is tearing my cell phone up. Now, I can't remember. He says that I told him I saw it and I didn't answer, but I don't know. All I know is that emotions were super high that morning. People were taking Xanax, prescribed Xanax, but people were, it was not a good situation, okay? Everybody was fucking stressed out. So whether I saw his text or not, I really honestly to this day cannot remember. But I know that I went to court and we were allowed to have our cell phones in court. So I know I texted him in court or whatever, but he goes into this whole tirade about, I was texting you this morning, you were just ignoring me, you never answered me, blah, blah, blah. And that just set the tone for like the rest of the trip. The whole time I was on that trip, he was just obnoxious. That's all I know. All I was doing was hanging out with my friends. We went to court. We would go back to the hotel room. Me and Jesse did go get tattoos. We would go back to the hotel room, or we would go like to Garrett Watts. We were hanging out with him. All we were doing was just hanging out. I was not having sex with anyone. I was not doing anything I shouldn't have been doing. And he just made my life miserable while I was in Los Angeles. So when I got to the airport to go home from Los Angeles, I fucking let him have it. Once I was alone and I could concentrate on a conversation with him, I was just like, you have acted like a fucking child the entire time I've been here. You have tried to ruin any semblance of fun I could have made out of this shitty trip. Because this was a fucking shitty trip. That the first time I go to Los Angeles is for a court case over a rape. And you are my husband and you are supposed to be supporting me and you are acting like a fucking literal child while I am gone. And he's on the phone, I know, I'm so sorry, I don't know why I did that, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, long story short, I got home and I had some new sneakers, which I don't know why, but I had some new tennis shoes, sneakers, whatever, and I had this ring. This ring cost every bit of $1,500 to $3,000. I can't remember exactly how much this ring cost. And that's something else I've noticed over the past few years. I have blocked so much shit out of my brain that just comes from out of nowhere and I'm like, oh my God, I remember this or I remember that. Because I had buried stuff. Because, you know, when you're with someone and you know that they're not trustworthy and you know that you honestly can't trust them, you notice things all the time and things happen, but you just tend to bury them because that's the best way to deal with it. But this ring, let's just say on the low side, cost $1,500. When I opened the box, I'm looking at this ring and I'm like, why do I have, what is this? He's like, I just wanted you to know, I'm really sorry for the way I treated you and I love you and stuff. And I'm like, how much did this cost? And he's like, don't worry about it. And I was like, I do worry about it because we're married. So whatever you spent on this is now money that is added to our debt. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. I'm in debt just like everybody else. I live paycheck to paycheck. So I was just like, okay, but I kept it because I felt like it'd be a slap in the face to not keep it. So when we got divorced or separated, I took on the bills, the credit card bills, and this was on the credit card bill. So there's that. This is not my first I'm sorry ring. My first I'm sorry ring came on not the cruise that he ruined while I was with Jesse and Blake and Jesse's parents and her whole family. I'll tell you that story real quick. We drove to Florida. We stayed with Jesse's family the night before the cruise, and then that day we got on the cruise ship. Everything was fine, and then it was like immediately when we got on the cruise ship, Brian had a hair up his ass. Brian was pissed off. Brian, like everybody else, was like sitting around a table talking, and Brian's just like over here at a whole different table, just sitting there like staring out at the ocean. And stuff like that would make me uncomfortable. Like, you're my husband. These people really haven't ever met you before, and this is the impression they're getting of you. I didn't know what was wrong with him. I didn't like it when he drank because he's not a nice drunk. He's not an abusive drunk. He's not a physically abusive drunk, but he becomes very not nice, just confrontational. He does a lot of like where he just sits there and just like stares at you and stuff like that. It's just really weird. And I had gone back to the room to get ready for dinner. And while I was getting ready for dinner, he had been out at the pool drinking. So he comes back to the room and I'm like, okay, I can tell he's been drinking. I can tell he's in that funky place he gets when he's been drinking. We went to dinner. He didn't hardly say a word during dinner. Like, everybody's sitting at this table. I mean, it was like one of those long tables, and plus her parents and aunts and uncles and stuff are sitting at a table here. All of us are talking. He's basically just sitting there not saying anything, just like staring at everybody. And you can tell from the other people's body language that they're like, what is this? What's wrong with him? But nobody said anything. It was just very awkward. So after that dinner, we went back to our room to, I don't know if I changed out of my clothes that I had gone to dinner in or whatever, but I know I had one of those small little like rectangle shaped purses that slings over your shoulder. And I had like, you know, my lipstick, my room key, just stuff in my little purse. And I know that this video is all over the place, but this is just like word vomit. So if you could just allow me to do that, I would really appreciate it. So we're in the room and he's like, you're not taking your purse out. Put your purse down. You don't need that. And I'm like, I want to take it with me. And he's like, you don't need your purse. Put your purse down. You don't need it. Just leave it here. And I'm like, okay, again, there's things in here I want to take with me, so what is wrong with you? It's not like I'm carrying like a backpack or something and we're on a cruise. What do you think? I don't understand. So we went out, and we went out to the atrium in a ship, which is like the middle of the ship. Okay, usually that's like where the business offices and stuff are, but there's also like stairways going up, and a lot of the crew members were dressed up like the village people. And so the people down in the atrium were just like dancing. It was me, Jesse's mom, and her stepdad. I think Jesse was with me. I don't know, it was so many people, we were all over the place. But I mean, we're dancing, we're like YMCA, you know, we're having a good time, and Brian's just standing off to the side. And I see him, but I'm just like, I don't, look. So I'm still YMCAing, trying to do my thing, and he walks over and just jerks me off the dance floor. I remember when he did that to me, at that time, it was pretty normal behavior. So I remember just thinking, oh God, here we go again. But I remember Jesse's mom very distinctly. I remember her mom and her stepdad both just going. And he whisked me away to our cabin, proceeds to sit me down on the bed. He sits in a chair blocking the door and proceeds to just like cuss me out, tell me off, go on about this and that for like 30 minutes. Usually I fight back and I argue back, but I remember that particular time, I was so embarrassed by his actions, and all I wanted was to just go out and hang out with Jessie and Blake and her mom and all of them. That's all I wanted. I had been looking forward to this cruise for so long. So I just was like going along with whatever he was saying. I was just like, yeah, I don't know. If I said something wrong, I don't know. I really just wanted to have my purse because it's got like my lipstick and stuff. I don't really understand why you're doing this, but can I just go? Like, I just want to go out and hang out with my friends. We paid a lot of money to come on this cruise, so can I just go out? And finally he was like, got out of the way of the door. And I remember when I went out, the first person I saw was Blake, and I was like, this is embarrassing. Like, this is embarrassing, and this is stuff that I blocked out. But I said to him, we need to run. This is pathetic. Let me take a sip of tea. This video is all over the place. I don't even know how long it's going to be, and I'm real sorry about that. I need to get this out. I looked at Blake and I said, we need to run. And he was like, what? And I was like, Brian's on the way out, and I literally don't know what's wrong with him. Plus, he's been drinking. He's just acting like crazy, and we need to run. So I remember that me and Blake ran up like 4 flights of steps. And we ended up in the club upstairs. And so we found Jessie, and we're all just like standing around and dancing and having some drinks. Brian ended up coming to the club, and he just stood in the corner like this all night. Just staring at me. So the next day, he was still mad. I really didn't know what the fuck he was mad about. And I remember being up at the pool, and Jesse's mom, who I am convinced is a witch. Even Jessie has said her mom is a witch. But she's a good witch. She's like Glinda on the Wizard of Oz. She's not the other one. She's Glinda. And I remember she pulled me to her, and she very quietly said, if you need help, or if you need anything, all you have to do is tell me. You can text me. I have my phone with me. If you need me, all you have to do is tell me. And I was just like, I know, like, what? You know, because I was burying it. But it was enough for her to notice and to pinpoint that, like, there's a problem here. Like, what the fuck is going on? But that's not the first cruise that he ever acted like that on. There was another cruise that my entire family went on about 10 years ago now. And to make a long story short, on this cruise that we went on, there was a huge group of lesbians who had all gone on the trip together. And one of the ports that we stopped at was Key West. And Key West is known as being like one of the LGBTQ capitals of the world. Like, they're very gay friendly, all accepting, all encompassing. And so I don't know if maybe that had something to do with the amount of gay people that were on this cruise, but there was a lot of lesbians on this cruise. And one afternoon, and I remember it was the day before Key West, I went up to the bar and got me a drink. And as I was walking back, I saw two of the lesbians sitting there who I knew were in a relationship because I would see them kind of secretly holding hands at times. And that bothered me because I was like, hey, they should be able to hold hands, dance how they want, do what they kiss in front of everybody, do what you want to do. So I remember on the way back from the bar, I like stopped and I was like, hey guys, y'all having a good time, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I saw y'all kind of trying to secretly hold hands. You know you can hold hands in front of all of us, right? And they were like talking to me and I was talking to them and we had a whole conversation. And I got back to our group and Brian was sitting there and he had his ass on his shoulders. I could just tell his body language would change. And I was like, what's wrong? And he was like, I fucking hate lesbians. And I was like, what? And he was like, you just had to go over there and talk to him, didn't you? You just had to go over there and say something. And I was like, are you seriously mad at me for speaking to somebody? And he's like, I fucking hate blah, blah, blah. So I just got up and left and went to our room. Like because my way of always dealing with him when he would do stuff like this was to either remove myself from him or to go to sleep. And this day I did both. I mean, it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a cruise ship. I went to the cabin, laid down, went to sleep. He came to the cabin, he starts trying to fuss at me and stuff, and I leave our room and I go to my sister's room. The next day I went into our cabin and there was a folded, you know how they fold towels on the cruise ship and leave them for you on the bed? There was a rabbit because our favorite animal together was a rabbit. And so he had a rabbit on the bed and it had a different ring. Not this ring because this was years later. This story was like in 2008. This came in 2014. So there was another ring which I pawned by now. These are just examples of things that he would do the whole time we were married. So Brian, if you think I'm obsessed with you and you think I miss any of that behavior, I do not. I wanted to be single for a long time while we were married because I was very unhappy with you. I'm sure that I did things you didn't like either. I know for a fact that I did things that you don't like either, but really when it comes down to it is that you are just a very unfaithful person. And to Melissa, this is what I meant when I said I will come for you. I've never threatened to put my hands on you and you know that. You were just pissed off about a ring situation, so you chose to manipulate words and try to silence me. But Brian should have told you that that's impossible. Like, I will wait as long as I need to until I can talk about what I want to talk about again. So some of the things I want to talk about today, and I'll wrap it up, but like I said, this ring is a little tight on this hand because I have gained some weight, which that is a normal behavior for aging women. Now I'm working on trying to lose a little bit because I'm not exactly happy with where I am. I've been eating a lot of salads and stuff like that, but I just wanted to point out that it's normal for people to gain weight, but I find it hilarious that you lost so much weight while you were having an affair with my husband, but now your ass is fat again. I find that hilarious. Why? I find that hilarious because you kept calling my friend Christine, who told me the truth about you and Brian, by the way, who then you called a liar. You kept calling her Miss Piggy, but see, she was pregnant. Okay, first of all, she was pregnant. Second of all, okay, so she's not a skinny little stick figure. I'm not either. I am probably 30 pounds overweight, but you continuously called her Miss Piggy. You continuously went out of your way to fat shame her, body shame her, and now your ass is right on back to whatever that weight was that was going on before you started fucking Brian. So, shut your fucking fat mouth, okay? This video is getting real petty at this point. Furthermore, Brian, why do you dress like the band Creed? You are almost 50 years old. I don't stalk you guys. I know you like to think that I do. You all are the ones who stalk me, but I digress. I do get sent screenshots. And Brian, why would you wear a pink denim shirt to your daughter's graduation from college? Melissa, you wear shit that literally makes, if you are an epileptic, do not go around this bitch. Why are you two walking around looking like Andre and Megan from Key and Peele? Because that's what the fuck you look like. Brian, you are 47 years old. Stop going to Buckle. There's a little bit of advice for you. Melissa, suck my dick, bitch. That's my advice for you. Y'all tried it. You thought. Oh, also, Brian, this dude is looking for his outfit back. Let me stop while I am here. I'm not ahead or behind. I'm just, this feels real good. This feels real good. Baby, I'm not obsessed with you. You look like the dude from Saw. And I'm not the only one who has said that. Like a few people in the past would say, you look like Kathy Bates. And I would be like, I don't see it. But enough people have said it now to where I'm like, okay, I guess I look like Kathy Bates. But it's so funny because more than 5 people have said, you look like the man from Saw. Jigsaw, I guess is his name. I don't watch that shit because it just makes me very uncomfortable. It gives me a lot of anxiety. I don't watch it. Maybe that's why I was so anxious the whole time I was married to you, because that's what you look like. That dude.
We interrupt this video with a quick, important announcement.
You belittle me. You talk about my hysterectomy. You say that I was so awful to your kids, but if I was so awful to your kids, then why did you leave them with me all the time? Because on our weekends that we had the kids, you were always gone. You were either working, golfing, hunting, fishing, off doing something with the hunt club. They were always with me. So that comes back on you. If I was so fucking terrible to your kids, why did you leave them with me all the time? Baby, you left your children in your first marriage. You literally walked out. But you want to belittle me for having a miscarriage and having to have a hysterectomy because I had endometriosis. You used your child as a getaway car when you were having an affair. You blamed your divorce on that child. And from what I hear from your child is that really none of your behavior has changed. It's just that you used to always blame it on me. You used to always blame your shit on me. So this video was just simply a lot of word vomit, and I'm fine with that. Am I obsessed with you? No. But you know, it takes a long time to get over a divorce when you're married to someone for 15 years, but you wouldn't really know that because you jump from one relationship to the next. And Melissa, you better check his phone records. You better keep a close look on who he talks to and how much. Just a little hint from me to you. He likes to change people's names in his phone. Like that time that he was having a sexting marathon with a girl that I went to nursing school with, who I considered one of my really good friends. He changed her name in his phone to the operating room where he used to work. He changed it to SRMC operating room. It wasn't SRMC operating room it was talking to. It was her. I'm not going to say her name because I'm not trying to ruin other people's lives. It's whatever. I'm over it at this point. I know it doesn't seem like I'm over it, but this is just me venting. But he changed her name in his phone. The only reason I picked up on the fact that it wasn't the OR that he was talking to was because, one, you can't text the OR, and second of all, he was texting the OR at all hours of the day and night. So that's just a piece of advice from me to you. My advice would have been to never marry the motherfucker, but it makes me happy that you did because you have such joy to look forward to. I guess that's it. I guess that's all I got to say. This is not obsession. This is a bear that you put into hibernation for 6 months. And as much as you know me and as much as you know Sarah, you should have known that we would not silently sit and take this shit. But I digress. So I hope you all enjoyed this massive fucking dose of petty. And I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up. I hope also that you will subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And if you have already, thank you so much. Please make sure you click the little bell icon down below so it will tell you every time I put up a new video. I put up videos on this channel on Tuesdays and Saturdays, and I also do vlogs on my vlog channel Monday through Friday. So I will link that down below so you can subscribe to that also. I hope you all have a great day. If this video did nothing for you but provide giggles, I'm glad. But I hope that it educated some people because life is too short to let anyone treat you this way. And I am free. And I can go and do what the fuck I want. And these two bitches are chained together for life. So that was a bad decision. Anyway, guys, have a great day. Go out, be kind, tell your truth, speak your truth. Do not put up with shit from anyone. And have a great day. I love you. Bye.
Hey, Brian, you need some tissues? Nah, bitch. Nobody gives a fuck about you.